Memphis police are hailing a Jewish school for its safety plan, saying it prevented another potential mass shooting yesterday. Officers say a former student tried to gain entry into Margolin Hebrew Academy with a gun. Police say when he couldn't enter the building, he began shooting and fled the scene. Officers later shot the suspect during a traffic stop. He is in critical condition and no other injuries were fortunately reported. Police say the security at the school saved lives.
Thankfully, that school had a great safety procedure and process in place and avoided anyone being harmed or injured at that scene.
The incident comes 4 months after a gunman killed 6 people at a school in Nashville, as you might remember. Former FBI agent Doug Kouns joins me now to talk about those safety protocols. He's the founder and CEO of intelligence firm Veracity. Doug, what did the school get right here?
Pretty much everything. It's one of the few times that we're talking to you and it's somewhat of a success story. And it's obviously still bad somebody even trying to do this, but it looks like they had a security threat assessment done. They implemented those things that were recommended to them. They probably trained on those. And ultimately, when something almost happened, the almost is the key word here. He was not able to get in. He was not able to hurt anybody. And he was quickly dealt with by law enforcement.
From what you know of those security measures, what stands out to you that the school did right?
The access control is the biggest thing. And we do these security assessments for schools and churches. So where are the access points and how do people get in? What's the process and procedure to let somebody in? So, and there's a wide range of schools and churches and all these places when we go out and do them, from very good to very bad. Typically the good ones, there's a system where perhaps you can get into a foyer, but to get into the inner building, you have to be buzzed in by somebody that has checked your ID and finds out who you're there to see and what your purpose is. We'll show up at some of the places that don't have a plan at all, and it's just wide open. All the doors are unlocked. Anybody can get in. People prop doors open with rocks, and you can tell that's because you can see the rocks sitting over to the side that's used for that kind of thing. So those are the kind of things that a company like ours or whoever will go in and they'll do a thorough assessment, look for these problems, figure out here's your top risks, and then come up with a plan to mitigate those risks. Then it involves training and follow-up and coordination with the local law enforcement, figuring out what the response times are. So if you push that alarm or make the 911 call, how long is it going to take for police to show up or an ambulance? Do you have medical equipment and people trained to use that if somebody does get hurt? There's so many things. There's checklists that you go through and make sure the big things are covered first, and then you start to fine tune it.
I remember when we were filming our documentary Guns in the Classroom, the school that we visited had these hallways that were curved, so a shooter wouldn't have that direct line of sight, and potentially that could make kids safer in a scenario of a shooter. Can you talk to us about what are those primary measures that every school should have? What are those safety protocols that they should not miss out on?
Well, the access control, I think, is the big thing. Make sure that there is, only one way in, and that the people that are coming in there have a process to show, visitors I'm talking about. So show an ID, state who you're there to see. And then once that's all vetted, then somebody pushes the buzzer or somebody comes to the door to let you in. There should not be unfettered access into these facilities in this day and age. We just see too many of these shootings time and time again.
And that's only addressing if the shooter comes from outside, of course. There's more measures if it comes from inside, but we'll talk about that next time. Doug Kouns, thank you.
Right. Thank you.